Well, hello. Evening to anyone who's popping in. It's been a heck of a day for me. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a fun time. Oh, I see what the problem is here. 1 second. How about we just shoot that up a little bit? How about that? That sounds much better. Okay. Wow. It's been not bad or anything. Well, okay, there was one bad thing. But in general, it hasn't been bad. It's just been like, it's just been crazy. It's just been, all over the place. And I couldn't figure what I wanted to do tonight. Did I want a game? What did I want to do? So I thought, what the hey, I'll just pop on here, talk to Thin Air for a bit. Or not, you know, if other people pop in and, yeah. Saves. So what I'm doing right now is I'm loading in my progress. So I've done quite a bit of work here, obviously, on Rogue. This is Rogue. Pictures in the thumbnail, although I can try and see if I can put something on here for you, so that you can kind of see what it looks like. And I need to experiment with this kind of stuff anyways. So, image, okay. And then browse. Luckily, I'm pretty, know right where it is. So Rogue, here we go. Okay. So there we go. Wow, I figured out how to add an image layer. Excellent. So that's Rogue. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. Yeah. It's pretty awesome. I'm still learning new things about this software all the time. Okay. So let's see what we got going on right now. We've got this stuff up to the side. Here we go. So we've got up. I feel like there's some stuff that didn't get marked here that should be marked. Yeah, there's some stuff that didn't get marked here, but that's okay. Most of it's done. Most of it's all good and correct. I was stitching with my sister. Well, I meant to stop and do a live stream a bit ago, but my sister called me and we do this thing where we will video chat and we'll kind of exactly like this. I show her the same thing I'm showing you guys, but it's just me and her having a conversation. So it's super nice. Let's see. So 1, 2, so yeah. Gonna park him there for the moment. I think I'm gonna try and be a little bit more focused on the stitching, so if someone pops in to chat and I miss it, I apologize. I've got my sip of, this is some water that's been plussed up with some liquid IV because it's tasty, and my other half made it and he made it too warm, and so I thought, oh, okay, I'll take it. So it's hydration, it's good for you. But the real joyful part is this Woodford Reserve double barrel. I got that for Christmas. It's lovely crystal glass. Woodford Reserve double barrel. I'm a big fan of whiskey and bourbon. I take my bourbons, I want to say seriously, but not into like the thousands of dollars seriously that some people take it. But I take it mildly seriously. That is to say, when I do enjoy a bit of beverage, it is not with the intent to, I don't drink to get drunk. I really don't. I don't like it. There's definitely a degree of too much. I am very much a fan of taste, flavor, enjoying it. You know, what does it smell like? What does it taste like? 3608. Oh, here we go. This is why I could not find. Since this is my in-hand project, I take it to work with me. And I couldn't find this one color. It's like, where is this color? Bump. Turns out it was on my Mirabilia kit. So this is my Mirabilia kitted up stuff. But the color I needed was on there the whole time. So no wonder I was having a problem with it. which is allow us fill in some of this hole right here and then come down around this side. So yeah. Excuse me. I need to come up with a proper thumbnail and such. I'm gonna turn that, yeah, I'm gonna turn that gain down a little bit. There we go. Don't like having my gain too high because when I do my voice, it sounds really echoey and it drives me nuts. I prefer to have a really low input gain and have the mic a lot closer to me. I think it just kind of tends to sound a little bit better. Oh, that is a gorgeous color. Wow. I was not prepared for this sort of deliciously dark kind of teal, I guess you would call that. I'm going up a stitch, so I can't do that. Let's backtrack. Come down here. There we go. No, I've been thinking quite a bit about what I want to do for the channel, for my channel going forward. And needless to say, I think there's going to have to be some changes. Probably nothing that's super visible on the outside, like you're pretty much going to see stitching and gaming content, but there's been some projects in the works that I've had that I've been working on for a really long time, and they're neat things. I want to publish them because the one in particular I feel like is just something I want to say and put out there, but at the same time, if I'm honest, I don't have the bandwidth to do it. I don't. I think I set myself up for failure a little bit. My animated D&D video, which I am proud of, and I am happy of, but I had this idea that I was going to do more like it. And I'm just not only running dry with ideas in terms of what specific topics I want to talk about, but like, I don't know, the drawing, even though they're just little stick figures, you'd think it wouldn't take that long. I'm like, oh, it's just a bunch of stick figures. It takes like, what, 3 seconds to draw a stick figure? But the amount of time that that animated video made, I have one already with audio recorded. I've got like 50 some odd stills. It's not really animated. I can't call it animated. In my headcanon, I call it animated, but it's not really animated. It's just a bunch of fast-paced stills, like a flip book. Not even a flip book. So all that to say, I'm starting to realize the hard way, like how I kind of bit off more than I can chew. And I just really don't know if I have it in me to do more of the animated ones. I mean, like, part of me kind of wants to. You know, like, oh, wouldn't it be every once in a while? But I can't do it as regular content, and I can't, you know, when you take the topic of D&D and break it up into its component pieces, I mean, in theory, you can make a ton of videos about it, because a whole bunch of hundreds of channels already have, and already do, and continue to do. There's plenty to talk about, but I don't have the bandwidth to do that on an animated level with the sticks. I nickname them. Say in my notes for my scripts, I have a list. I listen to the audio after I've edited the audio, and I create a checklist of images that I need for, and I just sit there and listen to the audio and just enter, type a stick doing this, enter, type stick doing that. So I started nicknaming the stick figures sticks. I just refer to them as sticks. But yeah, basically I don't have enough to make that like the regular content source. So, and I want to really embrace the floss tube side more. I haven't put up as many stitchy videos as I would like. And that community is such a great community to be a part of. I'm so happy to finally have videos up there. I'm making new friends. I'm learning a ton of new stuff. And you know, and then the Saturday game streams is like, you know, gaming is actually a huge part of my life when I think about it, just as much as stitching is. I mean, they're really two halves to the same me. And so those are the things I want to focus on. Those are the things I want to do. And I want to focus on putting out stuff that I want to do that feels good to do. Like animating the sticks only feels, and produce like that D&D video only felt good because A, it was a lot of work. So, it felt good to accomplish something. And B, it felt good because that was like the inspiration point. That was like, oh man, if I ever made a YouTube video, this is what I would make, right? It's one of 2 videos that I've been dreaming about making for like 5+ years now. And I just got around to finally doing it. Thank you to Game Masters and Bear the Gen X GM, both of those channels. That would not have happened if it wasn't for the little nudge, the little gentle and supportive nudge I got from them and their communities. This channel wouldn't be here. But, I did it. I did the thing I set out to do. I accomplished. So what happens when you accomplished what you set out to do? When you're done, when you've finished the book and you've closed the book. Well, if you really enjoy reading, then you're going to pick up another book. And if reading is not your thing, you're probably going to put that book down and go, well, that was fun, and then move on to what you are interested in. So I think in the case of me and my channel, it is definitely the gaming stuff. Gaming's a big deal for me. And it's definitely the stitchy stuff. And it's definitely... adjust my chair. It's definitely not a... yeah, basically, I'm going in a very long-winded way. I'm saying I'm abandoning the project I currently started. I mean, I'm going to keep all the files and everything. I'm not going to, delete it. And, maybe it'll come out. But in terms of where I stand mentally... I mean, I think I've said before... if not on various streams, at least when I'm talking to my better half, I've mentioned multiple times the various pressures that I've started feeling and stressors that I've started feeling since starting the channel that are a little imaginary. They're pretty much imaginary stressors, but they're kind of there. The stressor of the feeling of the need to upload content. And it's like, I'm a teeny tiny non-existent channel. There's no one holding my feet to the fire. Per se. I mean, I have a lot of support from a few people who, watch and stick around and comment, to which I adore you to tiny pieces. Please don't go away. Please stick around. But for my, I started noticing a pattern of when I did my Saturday game streams, I genuinely looked forward to doing them. I had fun doing them. I wanted to do them. And when I do these Stitch With Me's, specifically the live ones now, more than the recorded ones now that I'm a little better set up. It's like the level of kind of therapy. It really is. It really is just Tori's personal therapy session. Where I just get to sit here and talk and talk and talk. And that's okay. And so I want to keep doing that because that's what it feels good to do. That's what's helpful to me. That's kind of what serves me, I guess. Sounds weird to say that bit out loud, but, sometimes you gotta focus on what serves you. Oh my gosh, that blue is so gorgeous. I just can't stop admiring this blue, green, teal, whatever this is. The DMC number is 3808, so all my fellow stitchers out there, pick up a strand of 3808. And oogle it with me, because holy crap, that is a gorgeous, gorgeous blue. I might have to switch out my needle minder too. I've been having some issues with my minder, which is a shame because it's Spyro the Dragon. Dude, what could be better than Spyro the Dragon needle minder? Oh, it's Spyro. It's my precious Spyro. But seriously, well, that one turned out. Basically, and again, any of my fellow floss tubers, feel free to input in the comments section. I know Karen is wonderful. Karen the Needlebug. Go watch Karen the Needlebug. Go watch her channel. Go subscribe. But seriously, she's amazing, and she offers a ton of really good advice. Like if you're struggling with something or want to learn a new trick, her channel is like top notch. But yeah, if anyone has any thoughts on this, but basically I love this needle minder. I absolutely don't want to not use it, but I keep having this problem where when I try to put my needle like, you know, kind of anywhere in an obvious spot. I mean, you see how it immediately dropped? You see how it rolled down to the feet? Like, it'll stick, but I have to get it, like, just right or it won't stick. It'll default to either up here or way down here. And more often... Oh, and you saw it just do it just there where it rolls under. I've had that happen quite a few times where it's rolling under. And it kind of makes it... Yeah, there, see? I just kind of didn't even... And it's defaulting to, like, I don't know, either that or the minder might just be too big. Minder might just be too big. I do like a strong magnet with a small minder because I want my needle to be available and accessible. So, yeah. So, let's see. I'm not sure if it really shows up on camera all that well, but this light colored blue right all up in here. Oh, that is just the most lovely color. See if I can kind of zoom you in here a little bit. Yeah, let's see if I can kind of make that bigger. There we go. This blue right here, oh, it's just gorgeous. It's not showing up on camera. It looks blue on camera, but in real life, it's very green. It's very teal. It's got much more green in it, and it's just this rich color. Doesn't show up on camera at all. Oh, there it goes, rolling under again. So yeah, one of my other favorite needle minders, and one of my first needle minders I ever got, which is stuck with me through all of Fairy, is this octopus head, which I'm a fan of Lovecraft and the Cthulhu mythos, so hence the octopus head. But it has a really nice strong magnet, and the needle solidly always lands right in that middle spot, so I can pretty much always, you know, kind of grab it. It's pretty fantastic. It's pretty great. Well, now, hydrate. As Insim would say, hydrate. Yeah. Up a bit. Okay, so we've got a couple more on that side. So I'm sort of expanding out from center, so I'm a little bit making it up as I go in terms of how I approach this. Part of me is thinking maybe to come in down around here. There's a lot of that. This is actually a 310 black all down here, and then it kind of goes up this way and up, and then it kind of goes down this way and around. So I think I might just start it here and work my way down and around. So get me some of that 310 black. I am going to be substituting. There is some B5200, aka white, on this project. I am going to be substituting that for glow-in-the-dark floss, which you saw on, if you've seen my sorcerer. What the heck is this? In the world? What are you got going on here, sir? Excuse me. Excuse me. Hello. Got all kinds of bunched up, didn't you? We're gonna have to fix that. Pardon me. I normally don't have issues with my stuff getting... I can't tell if that's... Sometimes with these kinds of things, you can actually just gently pull on it and it'll kind of undo itself when it's all twisted up and around. And sometimes not so much. So now I'm like wondering what I got myself into. But anyways, yeah, I hope everyone's evening is okay. Well, I hope everyone's doing good. We had a pet emergency on Monday. That's part of what I meant when I say there was one bad thing that happened this week. Our cat, Mercury. If you really want to hear her at her finest... Okay, Yeah, I'm losing patience with this knot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm straight up losing patience with this knot. If you ever want to hear her at her greatest, there's a Subnautica stream. I think it's part 12 or 13. It's basically 2 videos from the end. Might be 11, but basically it's two parts from the end. But in the beginning of that stream, she was going ham. Just meow, 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 and just going crazy. But she ended up having, on Monday evening, symptoms akin to a stroke. Of couldn't walk, was tilting her head to the side, walking around kind of in circles, kind of twitching, kind of stumbling around, and her eyes were doing like a vit, 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 vit. Her eyes were darting back and forth really rapidly. It was pretty terrifying. And so we ended up making an emergency vet visit and taking her in. And basically the results that we got is it could have been a stroke. It could have been an ear infection that caused something to happen. It could be cancer. It could be, there's a whole lot of, we don't really actually know. But basically, here's what you do to, and they usually recover within 48 to 72 hours. That's what we got. Which is like good news, but also confusing. But I'll admit, I don't have the cash on hand to go get, like, a CT scan and various things that we would have needed to do, so we took her home. By the time they did give her some stuff, and just in the cat carrier on the way home, she was already better. Her eyes stopped twitching, she wasn't, like, having nearly as many balance issues. I mean, it was, like, way better. And then pretty much immediately, see, today's Wednesday, so yeah, Tuesday throughout the day she was just lethargic. I mean, she was freaking out during the whole event. Not that I blame her, because I was freaking out during the whole event. So Tuesday she kind of basically slept all day, and she's like a 13-year-old cat. She sleeps all day anyways. But she basically was just super lethargic and slept all day. And then today, I was at work, but my better half was home, and he said that she was pretty much just like her normal self. I mean, you almost can't even tell that anything happened, which we're very grateful for. But it was still really stressful, really scary. It was an unexpected expense, among other things. That's kind of bottom of the list, but it's, a reality of these types of situations. It's like no one wants to sound rude and talk about the money aspect of it, but I mean, it's a real part of the whole thing. It's a finite resource and requires management, so. Yeah. He's gaming in the pig. I mean when I say it's therapeutic. It's probably why we stitch to a certain extent. I gotta be real careful here, because I gotta be able to see the difference between that black and this dark blue. So yeah, that should be that, because then that should be the 2. There we go. That was the 2. So 1 and then the 2. It should have been kitty corner from each other. And then this should be kitty corner from the 2. kitty corner from that. Should be 3. I actually got to check out Karen's video from earlier today. She posted a video earlier today, but I was at work and I didn't catch it. And then Ye Old Geek went live, and I felt I had to catch that because, you know, they were live and they were talking about player engagement, which is something I actually really wanted to catch. And then, of course, I had to, like, leave in the middle of it because work and stuff. So there was one person in chat that I was kind of chatting back and forth with, and it was awesome. And I was learning me things, and I was getting suggestions, and then work happened, and then I had to leave, and then drive home, and then the yard, and then the sister, and the cart, and so if I come here, so that's gonna be here. Yep. One thing I will say that I appreciate about Pattern Keeper, catches this, if you're listening, because we were talking about Pattern Keeper versus markup for pattern, and I really like that Pattern Keeper lets me highlight things like as a marker. So often what I'll do, and I'll see if I can zoom in here because I don't want to show too much of the pattern on screen, so I'll just zoom in real big. So if I look at Pattern Keeper lets me do this thing where I can, like, highlight a bit purple. I'm in move mode. I'll highlight a bit purple, but I won't necessarily mark it off yet. So if I'm moving in a certain direction, like if I'm working on these 3 and I'm moving up this way, I can highlight them purple so that as soon as I look away and then look back, my eyes can immediately go to this spot. And then when I'm done with them, I can hit the button and then poof, then they're marked. And so then I can, you know, figure where I'm at. So like right now I'm actually here, and then I can kind of navigate, because when you think about it, I could go up, I could zigzag up, I could go up and then over and zigzag. I mean, there's like a zillion ways you could approach this specific chunk of pattern. So, and then on a larger chunk, like let's say I had like all of this blue up in here. You can see my reflection. All this blue up in here, you can't, like, it allows me to, just because of how zoomed in the camera is, all the, like, huge chunk of blue right here, when I'm actually working on it, I can just highlight without marking, which is something that I didn't think that markup really did. Get my zoom back right. It's on a tablet, you know. So there's one thing I definitely super appreciate about it. I mean, it really is. It's a solid program, despite some things about it that I would add and or change about it. It is a really solid app. And it's definitely taken the place of PDF markup and paper patterns for me. And in fact, it just occurred to me that for this particular live stream, I was not supposed to do Rogue. I was supposed to do Mirabilia, but here we are. Guess we're stuck now. Just bust out Mirabilia halfway through. Hey, why not? So I did that one last, didn't I? So that's gonna be, yep. Well. I do prefer to do a full cross instead of a half cross in general, but when I need to move in an upward direction that I can't normally do. There we go. Time is getting pretty short. I probably could get more out of it, but I don't. If I fuss with my floss too much, it encourages me not to stitch. You know, if a tail is too short to where I'm not comfortably stitching anymore, I don't want to beat myself up about not getting, you know, the absolute maximum number of stitches out of a given chunk of floss. I don't want to sit on that too hard. If I cut it a little long, I cut it a little long. Oh well. So. Okay, we're gonna move that up a little bit. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's not gonna be a problem at all. Totally fine. Not. Okay, we're gonna sit at 17. Always a learning process, this. What have I got down here? Oh, are these my hearts? They're not my hearts. What is this? What was this? What is this? First of all, I did some of that blue down here and didn't mark it off. Good job, Tori. Second of all, okay, yeah, that's my square. Okay, I see now. Gonna be one of those. I'm gonna be one of those. Okay, it's not the hearts. Some of that blue, so I can do that blue again and come in down here. Oh, alarms. That's my alarm to tell me to give my cat the medicine I already gave her. Which is not related to her situation. It's actually her original medicine that she was already on. 3808. Absolute gorgeous color. Dang. Sorry, I keep bumping the mic. Kira was making comments earlier about liking it close to me, and then I keep bumping it. You know, just Tory things. Where's my foot? No, it's not there. That's right. I keep trying to put my foot on something that's not there. That's how you know it's a Tory stream, right? Just messing with audio levels and smacking the mic and smacking the camera and outright being silly, but that's okay. That's what we're about. Enjoying ourselves. I think that's why I like doing the live streams better than I like doing the recorded content at this point. It's because it's just free to be you. You just are. It just is. You're not stressing about like nailing it perfectly. It just is. Man, you ever just stitch with a color that you just can't stop oogling? It's so pretty. Can't get over it. It's so pretty. That's probably about right. Mark off where I am here. If I don't, I'll get lost in the weeds. And how many times have you done that? You just stitched a whole bunch of stitches and you're so focused on what you're doing and then you completely forget to mark it off. It's like, great. Always remember to mark off your stitches. Just making trouble for yourself later if you don't. In small groups, I'm sure it's fine. But wait, hold up. There's only supposed to be 3. The 3 is supposed to be down here. Did I mess up? I counted those blacks, though. Like, I was really trying to count those blacks. Okay, is there 2? There's 1. correct because there's one black and then 1, 2, 3. Oh, that is not correct. So there are supposed to be 2 blues here. There is supposed to be 3 blues here. Just gonna back this up a little bit while I figure out what I did. So 2, then 1, then 3. There's an extra in here somewhere somehow. The single one is supposed to be on this line. I see where I messed up. These 4, I see where I messed up. Those 4 aren't supposed to be there. Ouch. That is some pretty significant frogging. That's this whole bottom section right here. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3. Kitty corner 1, 2. Kitty corner 1. Kitty corner 1. See, how does the black line up? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's black at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down. Kitty corner down 2. Kitty corner down and then 1. And then kitty corner down 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, no. So this black pattern is actually correct, which is bewildering. So 2 down. 2 down. Over 1. 2 down. Wait, over 1. 2 down. So 2 sets of 2. Looking at the blues now, the dark blues. This is actually black and dark blue. Now I know these are supposed to be inset by 1. So these 4 dark blues right here are actually supposed to be over. But this is still kitty corner the way it should be. Wait, they are over because this is a blue right here. They are over. This is a blue. They are over by 1. And then 2, and then 4, and then 2. With 2 here. That all lines up. So where is the extra stitch coming from? If I look up in here, this is hard to see the black. Yeah, brown, black. Wait a minute, this blue isn't supposed to be here. I think this, but if this whole row was wrong, this couldn't be correct. Wow, I really got myself in a pickle because the trail of black that I just did going down here counts correct. But there's no possible way it could be correct. Like, how is this correct? But then there's an extra row inside. Basically, it's off in one spot, but not off in another spot. But they're connected. So, anyways, wow. I have no idea how I did that. This is the stuff I did, this blue stuff down here I did earlier today. So yeah, I'm genuinely boggled. I genuinely can't figure it out where the mistake actually is. All I really know is that there should only be 1, 2, 3. There should only be 3 stitches here. And there's 4. That's incorrect. There should not be 4 black stitches. There should only be 3. So obviously there's an extra row in here creating the extra height. But if there's an extra row creating the extra height, how come these 4 blue ones right here are correct? The extra height has to be this row here. But if this row is extra, then this black should not line up. I'm genuinely boggled. Oh, there goes it rolling underneath my thing again. I'm genuinely boggled. I do not know how I got myself into this mess. I'm like, huh. Okay. Well now. That's a thing that happens. I think we're gonna, come back to this. Yep. I think we're going to, come back to this. Yep. There we go. We're going to just move this right along here. It's hard to move it once it's already in frame, so I'm just gonna shorten this up like so. There we go. So it's exact width and exact height. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to sit down with like a flashlight or something and really figure that out. I have no idea how I managed to mess that up, but boy, did I mess it up good. Okay then. Well, we're gonna shift gears a little bit here. Okay. Yep. We're gonna go to the gallery. We're gonna shift gears a little bit here, friends. I've been wanting to test out with this other project anyways. So now's the time. Now is the time. Okay. I have not busted out this project in quite some time, so I'm actually kind of excited. I have not worked on this piece in quite a while. This is using a sketchbook app. 4-Color Cafe, get special guest Larry Elmore. Ooh. That magnet was so strong on that other needle minder. That magnet was so strong that it attached my entire frame. My entire frame to the side of my desk, and I had to rip off my needle minder. That's a strong needle minder. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, no, I think we're set up good. I think all I have to do is put it up and adjust the camera a little bit. I'm gonna work on this for a bit, because holy crap. Holy crap, dude. How did I mess that up so bad? Seriously, how? This is one nice thing about the way that these clamps work. In other areas, they leave a lot to be desired, but in this context, they're pretty cool. Oh wow, that is way too close. It does require some measuring because I basically have to guess at the width of the frame. This is all the way over here. Sorry, bud. You guys are too close together. Turns out my frame is wider than that. There we go. Good enough. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of something else instead because I managed to kerfuffle my brain and my entire project. And that's no fun. Let's see if I can rotate it so it's not so crooked. Nope. Phone just gives me a hard no. There we go. That'll at least help a little bit. There we go. That'll at least help a little bit. It's a little crooked, but... There. We're gonna work on something else for a pinch. because why not, I guess. That's what we're doing now. Wow. And my other needle minder got shoved up under my bar. It's always a good time. Jiminy Christmas. The magnet on that was ridiculously strong. I have not touched this project in so long. I'm actually really excited about this. Since the last time I did this live, all of this has been done. All of this was redone. All of this was redone. And all of this corset bit was done just since the last time I've been live with her. So, let's see. I think there's actually a layer of beads right here. I think that's part of the reason why I stopped in that spot. And up here, I believe I have a 1/1 of a particular color. So I'm just going to pull up my... I'm just going to pull up my thingamajigger here. I do have to manually... 948. I do have to manually... This is a picture of a paper copy, so they don't give you a digital version. It's just paper. And I took a picture of it with my tablet, and then I loaded it up into Sketchbook, which is kind of like a Photoshop-y type app, and draw X marks over the spot. Because that's where we're at. 948. So, I believe that 948 is actually skin color. Yes, it is. So we're continuing, and this is specifically 1/1 up in here. So I'm going to be starting over here and doing the 1/1. Well, I've been kicking myself for not pulling out Mirabilia for about 3 weeks now. I guess it's time to stop kicking myself. And just do it. I'm going to tilt this a little bit so I can actually get at what I'm doing. Okay, I guess this is what we're doing now. Stitch with me, combo, rogue, knots. I may have to zoom in quite a ways because odds are high that this light color on this white fabric is not necessarily going to show up on camera. At least not very well. Oh, did my tail pop out? Yeah, my tail popped out. I'll try that one more time. Of course, linen being way different than even weave. This is a 32 count linen. This was purchased as a gift for me on 123stitch.com. And so it was purchased as a kit with the beads, the fabric, the pattern, and I was so excited. I've been daydreaming about doing either a Mirabilia or a Bella Filipina for so long, but I couldn't pick one. I couldn't choose a pattern that I wanted to do because they were all really pretty, but not pretty enough that like, oh, I want to actually stitch that one. So I couldn't find it, couldn't find it, and then I stumbled across the Royal Games series. And in fact, I am going to move this and I am going to zoom in quite a bit here. And I'm going to lean you over a little bit. There we go. So we can actually see what we're up against. I really wish my phone would just stay not locked in spot, but it's going to keep rotating and locking in spot no matter what I do. There we go. How about this? It's at least a little bit better. I stumbled across the Royal Games patterns. And, you know, I'm a gamer. We play lots of games. So even though we don't necessarily play, like, card games, per se, the fact that it was really pretty. It was a Mirabilia. It looked simple enough that I could try it. But it also looked pretty enough. And the fact that when you get them, there's 2 cards per side, or there, you know, there's 2 cards per pattern. So like this is hearts and spades, because you can do, because they're designed symmetrically. That's what that line was at the bottom. They're designed symmetrically. So I can do hearts on both sides, and then I can do spades on 2 sides, or I can do one project that is heart on one side and spade on the other side. It's, you know, dealer's choice. So, how I messed that up. Oh well. That's at least an easy fix. That's an easy fix. Boy, something's telling me that maybe I shouldn't be stitching right now. Because that's a lot of mess ups in a very short amount of time. I've not even been doing this an hour. I'm doing it about an hour. It's still a mess ups. But hey, maybe this will be it. Maybe after this it'll go smooth for a bit. So I got a whole lot of stitches to do of just this one color running all the way across here. All 1 over 1. It'll be worth it though. I know that I don't have to do 1 over 1 in this spot. I could just do the over 2 like the rest of it, but I don't know. If I'm gonna do it, then I might as well challenge myself and really do it. Okay. Yep. Got a little caught up on the linen there. Okay, needs to... Yeah, no, the top ones were definitely the last ones done. 100%. There's basically a little bit of... 1 over 1 is tricky stuff. I had another project on a gorgeous piece of fabric that I was really excited to do. And I tried it 1 over 1. I dare say I would call it traumatizing. Basically I messed up on it somehow. In the same way that I messed up on Rogue. I messed up in some sort of way that like jacked up the whole project. But I don't rightly understand how or where the issue actually was. Because huge pieces of it, every time I would go to count it, I was like, oh, that part's correct. That part's correct. Yeah, I'm probably going to end up just frog-frogging this. So I had a whole bunch of stuff that was correct, but yet somehow I had that one piece that was wrong. And there was just so much that didn't make sense, and I was really struggling with it. I was not enjoying it. And finally I said, you know what? I probably should not do 1 over 1. Maybe it's just not my jam. Maybe I just don't need to be doing it. Because of how horrible it was for me, that particular project. So then, I got it in my head that it would be a good idea to frog it. Picture about this much stitching. Like as much stitching as you saw done on this. Imagine trying to frog all of that. As 1 over 1. It was a nightmare. An absolute nightmare. And I was really... And the reason why I was frogging so much, and I didn't just go, screw it, and just get a whole new piece of fabric, because that's a lot to frog, was because it's hand-dyed fabric. So I'm fully aware that if I... didn't frog it, I wouldn't get to keep the fabric. It'd just be gone. Poof. And that particular piece of hand-dyed fabric was the absolute perfect color for the pattern I was doing, which is Artificer, which we'll get to, actually. Yeah. I was so upset. I was like, not only did I waste all of this time trying to frog this, but And now I've lost... Are you having focus issues? Don't have focus issues. It was traumatizing. I was not happy. I wasted a whole bunch of time, a whole bunch of effort. I was basically wrecking my fabric that was irreplaceable because of its hand-dyed color. And I was in a not good place. And my sister pipes up and she's like, I'll take care of it. I'll frog it for you. And I was like, seriously? You do that? Like, who would willingly, optionally frog 1/1? I can't fathom who would want to do that. But she did it. And by golly, did she do it. I was... Of course, it was already a little bit wrecked to begin with, but... From me fussing with it, but... Oh, I'm not doing a loop method. I'm not doing loop method. You almost messed up again. Just nip that in the bud right now. Yeah, my sister actually frogged the whole darn thing. And like I said, the amount of stitched material was about the size of what you just saw in this memorabilia. And she frogged the whole thing. I was like, oh, you're an absolute lifesaver. Absolute lifesaver. And then I was checking out Karen's video on fabric repair, and the lovely Karen was kind enough to offer to help me repair my fabric. So I think I'm going to get to save my whole project thanks to the two of them. Literally saving my project and my sanity because I was in a not good I was like actually getting emotional over it. And between the two of them, I am going to have a completed set, a completed project, and it's going to be the best, and I'm so happy and thankful. Okay, let's not mess up this time. How about that, Tori? How about you don't mess up this time? No more trauma. No more frogging 1/1. It's okay. Breathe. Breathe, Tori. So I'm like retelling the story and just picture like the 1,000-yard Vietnam stare. A lot of stitchers really love it. Me, I will be really happy not doing 1/1. Like, a whole project. I could not do a whole project. Now, if it's like the D&D projects, where I'm just doing the letters, and the rest of the project is over too, or if it's like this, where I'm just doing part of it, I'm just doing the skin, that I can do. That I can handle. And as long as I'm just stitching it, and I'm not frogging it, that I can handle a lot easier. I think it was the trying to frog that project and the stress of it just it makes me want to not ever do hand-dyed fabric again too, if I'm a bit honest. Because like, see, with this, like, let's say I mess up horribly, like, and I mean just horribly. If I absolutely had to and I was in a pinch, and I'm not a patient person, which is ironic considering my current hobby, but if I were in an absolute pinch, I could order another piece of this exact same white fabric and I could start over. But with that hand-dyed fabric, I can't do that. Now, I did see a video where she talked about the way that you go across to avoid stitches slipping, which, in the limited amount of 1/1 that I have done, I have never come across. I didn't even know that was a thing. But I watched a video on it anyways. And it was a marvelous video because once I saw it, Karen was trying to explain it to me and I was like, okay, like I was sort of following along. I was trying to anyways, but my brain, I just couldn't wrap my brain around it. And then I watched her video where she demonstrates it and then I can clearly see it and I was like, ooh, light bulb, I get it now. But, go away, Fuzzy, go away. I need to see what I'm doing, Fuzzy. Yeah, once I saw it in action, then I understood the concept. But what was really interesting was like, how have I done the amount of 1/1 that I have and literally never come across it? Like, I've never come across that whole slipping thing. 'Cause it makes sense. I don't know if it's because the only 1/1 I've ever done is this, where it's just part. You know, just the letters in Sorcerer. Or there's a small project that I did called Guess I'll Die Now. And it's just a picture of a D20 with the words Guess I'll Die on it. D-I-E. The D20 is sitting on a nat 1, which my D&D crowd will get that joke. But basically, yeah, I just did the letters 1/1. And yeah, that whole time I've done all of that, I never once had that slipping issue where my floss was actually under my threads. Never once had that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're technically at 4. 1, 2. Oh, I have 5 marked off. I'm on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So including the one over the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, I counted that correctly. By golly. I mean, I actually did something right. How cool is that? I did something right. After messing up so bad, I had to switch projects. Which is funny, because I'm trying to keep playlists, because I'm trying to keep records of my project, or my progress on my projects. So now this poor stream is going to have to sit in both playlists. This is going to be a Rogue and Mirabilia stream. A Rogue and Mirabilia playlist. Okay. That's my 5th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just did 5. Okay. I think I know how I got off on my markings too. See, the actual stitching of 1/1 isn't bad. Excuse you. The actual stitching is not as bad. I kind of almost start to understand maybe why my sister likes it so much. She loves it. She says 1/1 is her jam. And then, hey, to each their own. Everybody has their way of stitching. You know, it's like, I personally don't like 1/1 stitching, but I think the result of that is not having an attitude of, oh my gosh, 1/1 is like the worst. It's more of an attitude of awe when I see other people doing it. You know, when I see other projects that are full Hades lines, especially that are done 1/1, and I'm just in awe. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. That's so incredible that you can do that, because I can't. Which is, I think, a unique perspective to take. You know, if you have something that you don't like, that you don't get, that doesn't make sense to you in terms of like horror films. I don't like horror films. I can't do horror films. My sister, oh, total horror. Just everything, all the time. I mean, she does watch other things too, don't get me wrong. But, like, big horror fan, like, has seen every major horror film. Has read a whole bunch of horror novels, big Stephen King fan. And I don't look at it like, oh my gosh, horror's awful and dumb and blah blah blah. Like it's not like a judgment on horror because I don't like it. It's more like I find it super incredible that she can sit and watch it and enjoy it, and I'm like, wow, that's incredible. That's amazing. We're actually making some progress here, by golly. We're just marching right along, aren't we? Can't see anything, so my fingers are in the way the whole time. Sorry about that. Okay, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up. If I mess up one more time, I'm probably gonna have to call it. It's been a while. It's getting late for me. Probably getting to be that time. Let's do this. I'm gonna have to take a look at that later. But hey, I managed to get all that done. It's a teeny tiny bit. I also didn't have very long, but between the mistake on Rogue, the mistake earlier over here, which I did fix, and then getting stuck right here, I think that's the universe telling me it's probably time to call it. I think the universe is trying to tell me something. But next time I'm gonna have things better figured out. Next time I'm going to see you next time. It'll be good. Hope that you were at least relaxing and stitching along. Hope that you spent most of your time stitching and not frogging. And yeah, we'll see you later.